Hello, welcome to another Soulprint Mini. Thank you so much for being here. I'm always so grateful for all of the support, the encouragement, the donors. All of it is just truly amazing, and I'm very grateful. Thank you. For anybody who is looking for a private reading, there is an email address in the Dropbox below. It is soulprint888@gmail.com. You can just send me out a quick email asking for reading information, and I will get it back to you. Right now, I'm actually booking. I have a couple of things left on the week of the 16th, but I'm booking the 23rd. So it's like a couple of weeks wait time. So that's not too bad at all. So if that's something you're interested in, give me a shout. All right. I want to look at this Project 2025. So this is basically the synopsis. I looked it up. That says Project 25 is a plan to reshape the U.S. federal government in the event of a Republican victory in 2024, in the 2024 presidential election. Parent organization, the Heritage Foundation. So let's take a look at this. You know, energetically, it feels very much like those dinosaurs, trying one more time. The problem is even though Donald Trump is speaking their words faithfully about, tearing down the government and doing this and doing that, the problem is this. The Heritage Foundation has one intention, and that's to really, really revert to very conservative ideas and beliefs. If they are thinking they're going to be able to do that with Donald Trump, they should ask Mitch McConnell how well that worked for him, because he's just out of control. And so it's going to be another one of those situations where they think he's our guy, and then they're going to discover, yeah, you know what, he's really, really not. There's also danger coming from the idea of one of the other Republicans, Haley, whatever her last name is, it just completely went blank on my brain. Her or somebody else who would fall into line. Okay, so that's a story there. But I want to take a look and just see if they're going to actually be successful. Alrighty, here we go. Project 2025 success. Project 2025 success, Project 2025 success. It also feels very much that they're not necessarily going to be all that, in some cases, they're not going to be really upfront about the intention and about the candidates that they're putting forward. Sorry, here we go. I'm being told that one of the things that may actually end up happening as we kind of go forward in time is that there's going to be, I don't know, there's going to be something that's rewritten so that when you elect a certain person and they represent a certain party, it feels as if there's going to be some mechanisms put into place so that should that person want to switch parties midstream, it's almost like there needs to be some sort of another vote or a referendum. Because from what I can gather, a lot of times these people are voting based on one set of facts, and again, the vast majority of people don't dig under the kind of the surface statements. And what's happening is then, shortly after the election, they find out that, in fact, he's going to switch parties now. It's just more convenient for him. He's going to get more money, whatever it is. So it feels as if there's going to be some sort of a mechanism put into place just kind of curtail that. Now, that's not necessarily going to curtail somebody who gets in under one party and doesn't switch parties, but just never votes party line. I imagine that's something that is a ways down the road to sort out. But this is what I've got so far with Project 2025. All right. So the first flaw in their plan is that they are expecting to win the 2024 election. And that's not going to happen. So right from the get-go, they're working on a premise that is not sort of reflective of the energy that is swirling around the election. Let's start there. These people are, tossing and turning, and they're not sleeping, and they're clutching their pearls, and they're carrying on because, oh my God, everybody is abandoning these patriarchal, antiquated, draconian belief structures that the Conservative Party is becoming more and more entrenched in because they're recognizing that they're losing kind of their hold. Okay? So this is, again, like sort of that last desperate attempt. Let's face it, the Heritage Party did a heck of a good job getting the courts all exactly the way they want them. But I don't think it's going to be particularly easy or successful for them. This is another, group of people who were just moving kind of recklessly. And I don't mean recklessly kind of the way Jim Jordan is reckless or Matt Gaetz is reckless, but it's like they are becoming victims, if you will, of the very bubble that they live in. And, when you lose that sort of clear-sightedness, it can really trigger some unwelcome results because you actually are not representative of the majority. You're even really not representative of a lot of typical Republicans, right? Let's see how the whole abortion thing is going to play well for Republicans. Certainly so far, it hasn't done them one little bit of favor. They're not above stealing. They're not above doing the things that will get them what they want. Okay? And certainly this Project 2025, because they are a sibling, if you will, or a child of the Heritage Fund, we know exactly what they're about. They really do want that kind of sort of rule. Now, this is the thing that we can't just write them off because there's a lot of money behind them and there is a lot of really smart people behind it. We may not agree. We may think they're kind of idiots, but they're not stupid. And so in some ways, it's looking energetically like they're not going to accomplish what they want, but they are. It feels like going to stir up a lot of energy around, playing a role in that election as we go forward. Because, of course, they need that Republican win in order to implement or activate this Project 2025. there's lots of money, but ultimately it's not, it's not going to be particularly successful for them. But this is the thing, and this is, they're just telling me now that where they may not be successful in 2025, if people lose their vigilance, they will have more success in 2028 than perhaps anybody can anticipate at this time. So, one of the things that the American people have found, and frankly, people in other countries, simply by observing what happened in America, um, have figured out that they can't just stick their heads up and sort of sniff the air a week or two before the election. They really do have to be engaged in politics, because you have a handful of people, if you really think about it, based on population, that are representing so many. And when they don't represent them with the right intentions, ultimately that will backfire. But it really becomes important that people pay attention as the years go along, not just a month or two before. So right now, the energy of 2025, I do not see them succeeding, but I do not see them going away. So I'm not seeing success in 2025, but I'm definitely seeing them making some ground up in 2028. Let's remember the Heritage Foundation. How long did they diligently work at getting abortion banned? Decades. Absolutely decades. And this is sort of that same energy where they are going to keep pushing these very, very conservative values because they don't like the world around them. They don't like the changes. But it is changing whether they like it or not. And so that's where you see they're going to push, and they're going to push hard. I'm just not seeing, certainly in the short term, I'm not seeing any significant success. But this is one of those, as Rachel Maddow says, put a pin in it. We have to keep our eye on this because they definitely have the resources to move forward in a way that is not in the best interest of the American people. It is simply in the interest of themselves. Okay. So thank you very, very much for being here. Please don't forget to send in your questions for minis, or your ideas for minis, and your questions for Pendulum Friday. Such brilliant questions. I've been getting really smart, clever questions. And I really appreciate that. And I think I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I hope you are too. All right. You take good care, and I will see you tomorrow with my pendulum. Bye-bye now.